All right, let's talk about startups and social media. It's not just about getting likes, right? It's literally about survival. So today, we're going to break down 5 key strategies to actually get a return on your investment. Because for a new company, this stuff can be the difference between making it and, well, not.
Okay, let's just rip the Band-Aid off, shall we? The hard truth is that most startups, they're going to fail if they can't keep up with the competition. And look, this isn't just some scary statistic. It's the reality that every single founder faces from the second they start.
So, you got to ask, right? What's one of the biggest reasons for this? I mean, there are a lot of factors for sure, but our sources kept pointing back to one really critical and actually kind of common problem. And there it is, a lack of brand exposure. It sounds so simple, but it's absolutely devastating. You could have the most amazing, world-changing product, but if nobody knows you exist, do you really? But, and this is a big but, there's some really good news here. You've got a lifeline, and that lifeline is social media. When you use it right, it is an incredibly potent force to connect with people, get their attention, and actually convert them into fans. I mean, it's no coincidence that success stories like Airbnb or viral sensations like Distractify were built on a foundation of killer social media strategy. Okay, so how do you actually do it? Let's get right into the playbook. We're going to walk through 5 winning strategies that'll help you build the kind of online presence your startup needs to really take off.
All right, strategy number 1. This is so important. It's the foundation for everything else we're going to talk about.
You know, the hardest part is often just starting. But the real challenge? It isn't that first post. It's the 50th and the 100th. Social media algorithms are always hungry for new stuff. And let's be real, audiences can be pretty fickle. That's why consistency is it's non-negotiable. Your initial numbers might feel slow, so don't let that get you down. The real goal here is to build a rhythm and a whole library of content. And that consistency, it leads us perfectly into our second strategy. Because once you're posting all the time, the next logical question is, well, what are you even posting? This one's a simple but incredibly powerful idea. Focus on creating truly valuable content, and the subscribers, they'll follow. Seriously, chasing follower counts is a losing game. Instead, chase quality, chase relevance. That's what separates the brands that just kind of sit there from the ones that build a fiercely loyal community. And that right there is the engine that drives your social media ROI.
All right, strategy number 3. This is where we start getting a little more tactical.
I mean, think about it. You can have the best content in the world, but if the wrong people are seeing it, it's totally useless. This is all about working smarter, not just harder. You've got to make sure your message is landing with an audience that isn't just interested in what you do, but is actually likely to convert. And to reach that audience, you basically have 2 main toolkits. On one side, you've got organic reach. This is where you're using free tools like super niche hashtags to build up a dedicated little sub-following. Then, on the other side, you've got paid advertising. This is where the platform has become, pay to play, letting you target these hyper-specific groups of people. For most startups, the real magic isn't about picking one or the other. It's about mastering the blend of both. Okay, our 4th strategy. This one moves us away from the nitty-gritty tactics and more into the heart, the soul of your brand. Just think about the brands you love. We don't just buy their products, do we? We buy into their stories. The most successful brands out there make their customers feel like they're part of a movement. So don't just sell your product's features, sell your mission. Share why you started this whole thing and where you're trying to go. That is how you turn a one-time customer into a true believer.
And once you've got that story locked down, our final strategy is all about finding the right people to help you tell it. This is where you leverage the power of others.
Influencers can be a massive, massive launchpad for your brand. They give you instant access to an audience that already trusts them. But, and this is a huge but, alignment is everything. A partnership with the wrong influencer just feels fake, and it can do way more harm than good. The goal is to find someone who genuinely amplifies your story, not just someone who's hawking your product. Okay, so you've put all these strategies into action. You're posting consistently, your content is great, you're sharing your story, but how in the world do you know if any of it is actually working? Let's dive in to measuring your social media return on investment,
or as you'll hear it called, ROI.
Yeah, ROI is a term that gets thrown around a lot, but the idea behind it is actually pretty simple. It's just asking, did what you did achieve your goals? And was it worth the time and money you put in? It's not about finding some single magic number. It's about first defining what success even looks like for you.
So to make this super practical, let's think about your social media efforts in terms of 3 common goals for a campaign. Are you trying to build brand awareness? Are you trying to spark more engagement? Or are you trying to generate actual tangible leads? See, you can't measure success if you haven't first decided what you're even aiming for.
All right, first up, let's say your main goal is just pure brand awareness. Your key performance indicators, your KPIs, are all about exposure. So you're going to be tracking reach, which is just the number of unique people who see your content. You're tracking followers, which is the size of your potential audience. And you're tracking traffic, how many people are curious enough to actually click over to your website.
But what if your goal is different? What if it's all about increasing engagement? Well, now your KPIs are going to shift. You'll be tracking things like likes, comments, and shares to see if you're actually starting a real conversation. You're also going to be listening for brand mentions. You know, when people are talking about you all on their own. This is how you measure the quality of the attention you're getting, not just the quantity.
And finally, let's talk about lead generation. This is where the rubber really meets the road, right? For this goal, you need KPIs that track real, tangible business results. We're talking site traffic coming directly from social, the number of new email subscribers you get, or how many people are downloading your content or filling out forms. This is how you draw a straight line from a social media post to a pipeline of potential customers.
So, as we start to wrap this up, I want you to remember this. Your social media isn't just a bunch of posts and metrics on a dashboard. When you do it right, it's the living, breathing story of your startup's journey, its mission, and the impact it's trying to make.
We've walked through the strategies to help you build and tell that story. So the final question, the one you need to take back with you, is this: how will you measure its impact?